What does it mean to truly want to live? Not just exist, not just survive, but to choose life, even after the world has given you every reason not to. The story of Nico Robin is one of the deepest psychological journeys in anime, because it explores something many people experience but rarely talk about: the quiet loss of the will to live, and the long, painful process of reclaiming it. Robin was not born broken, but she was shaped by a world that treated her existence as a threat. As a child, she was different, intelligent, curious, and deeply passionate about knowledge. But instead of being nurtured, she was isolated, labeled a demon, rejected not for what she did, but for what she represented. And when a child grows up being told, directly or indirectly, that they are unwanted, it doesn't just hurt, it creates a core belief: I don't belong. That belief becomes the foundation of their identity, influencing every decision, every relationship, every expectation they have of the world. The destruction of Ohara was the moment that solidified Robin's psychological reality. Everything she loved, her home, her mentors, her sense of safety, was erased in an instant. And in its place, she was left with trauma, guilt, and a bounty on her head. From that moment forward, Robin's life became a constant state of survival. But survival is not the same as living. Psychologically, when someone experiences that level of loss and betrayal, they often enter a state of emotional withdrawal. It's not that they don't feel, it's that feeling becomes too dangerous. So they disconnect, they suppress, they adapt. Robin learned very quickly that trust leads to pain, that attachment leads to loss, and that the safest way to exist is to expect nothing from anyone. This is the mindset of someone who has been hurt too many times. It's not weakness, it's protection. But protection, when taken too far, becomes isolation. As Robin grows older, her worldview becomes increasingly pragmatic and detached. She aligns herself with powerful figures, not out of loyalty or belief, but out of necessity. She doesn't trust them, and she doesn't expect them to trust her. Every relationship is temporary, every alliance conditional, and beneath that calm, composed exterior is a quiet acceptance of death. Robin doesn't fight for her life the way others do, because deep down, she doesn't fully believe her life has value. This is one of the most important psychological elements of her character. When someone loses their sense of self-worth, they don't necessarily seek death, but they stop resisting it. They become indifferent. And indifference is one of the most dangerous mental states, because it removes the drive to protect yourself, to hope, to believe that things can be different. When Robin joins the Straw Hat crew, something begins to shift, but not immediately. Being around people like Monkey D. Luffy, who act with genuine care and freedom, challenges her internal beliefs. But here's the key. Just because you're placed in a healthy environment doesn't mean your mindset changes instantly. Trauma doesn't disappear just because circumstances improve. It lingers, it whispers, it tells you that this too will end badly. So Robin keeps her distance emotionally, even as she travels with them. She observes, she participates, but she doesn't fully allow herself to belong, because belonging means vulnerability, and vulnerability, in her experience, leads to pain. The turning point comes during the Enies Lobby arc, and it's one of the most powerful moments of psychological transformation in storytelling. When Robin is captured and faces the full weight of the world government's judgment, her initial response is not resistance, it's surrender. She tells the crew to leave her. She accepts her fate, not because she wants to die, but because she believes that her existence will only bring danger to those around her. This is a crucial psychological pattern. When people feel like a burden, they often isolate themselves to protect others. They convince themselves that letting go is the right thing to do, that their absence is better than their presence. And this belief can be incredibly convincing because it feels selfless, but it's rooted in a lack of self-worth. What changes everything is not just the crew's strength, it's their refusal to accept her belief. When Luffy and the others declare war on the world government, they are doing more than fighting. they are challenging Robin's entire identity. They are telling her, through action, that she is not a burden, that her life has value, that she is worth fighting for. And for someone who has spent their entire life believing the opposite, that kind of unconditional acceptance is overwhelming. It breaks through the walls she built. It forces her to confront a possibility she never allowed herself to consider, that she deserves to live. And then comes the moment, the line that defines her transformation. I want to live. It's simple, but psychologically it's profound. Because this is not just a statement of survival, it's a declaration of self-worth. For the first time, Robin is not passively existing. She is choosing life. She is rejecting the belief that she is a burden. She is allowing herself to want something for herself. And that shift, from indifference to desire, is one of the most important steps in personal development. Because growth doesn't start with action, it starts with belief. The belief that you are worth the effort, worth the risk, worth the possibility of a better future. From a mindset perspective, Robin's journey teaches us that healing is not about forgetting the past, it's about redefining your relationship with it. She doesn't erase her trauma, she carries it with her, but it no longer defines her identity. Instead of seeing herself as a survivor of tragedy, she begins to see herself as someone with a future. And that shift changes everything. She becomes more open, more expressive, more connected, not because her past changed, but because her perspective did. And this is a powerful lesson. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you interpret it. You can choose whether your past becomes a prison or a foundation. Robin also teaches us the importance of environment. You can have all the internal strength in the world, but if you're surrounded by people who reinforce your negative beliefs, growth becomes nearly impossible. The Straw Hats didn't just support her, they reflected a different reality back to her. One where she was valued, accepted, and protected. And sometimes, that's what people need. Not advice, not solutions, but proof that they matter. Because belonging is a fundamental human need. And when it's missing, it affects everything. Your confidence, your decisions, your ability to trust. In the end, Nico Robin's story is not just about surviving a tragic past. It's about reclaiming the right to live fully. It's about moving from isolation to connection, from indifference to desire, from self-doubt to self-acceptance. And maybe the most important lesson is this: just because you've been made to feel unwanted doesn't mean you are. Just because you've been hurt doesn't mean you're broken. And just because you've learned to survive doesn't mean you can't learn to live. The question is not whether life has value. The question is whether you allow yourself to see your own.